So the XQC beef has been continuing, although now it's starting to look like XQC is getting fucked over just a little bit. Like, I'm starting to feel bad for XQC. You know, not to say that I'm not still against his type of content, the reaction content, the stealing of videos that he still is totally willing to do, right?
Yeah.
But in this situation, it's a little bit sketchy, and this involves like a lot of different parties here. It involves XQC, H3, as well as Vince Vintage.
And Mizkif too. Mizkif is also
right
thrown in here.
Yeah, they're all in here or whatever. And let's go where this begins, right? So as you guys remember, in XQC's debate with H3 brought up Vince Vintage, who had a complaint about how XQC just uploaded his video in full, right? And so XQC promised, he said, hit me up, I'll pay you all the damages from your video that I caused by stealing it. So then he calls out Vince Vintage. He says, this Vince Vintage guy praises Mizkif for doing the exact same thing I did, but flips on me only when the tides shift. Then blatantly lies in a tweet because I didn't respond to his DM within 12 hours because I was flying, yet we had sent an email the 2 days before. Shameless. Pointing out how, about a couple weeks ago or whatever, Vince was praising Mizkif, who did the same thing as XQC, and we'll get into this a little bit later, but you know, he's praising Mizkif, right? Then he calls out XQC for doing the same thing, and then he also calls out XQC for not responding to his DM.
Yeah.
He says, now imagine that someone said to hit them up to get paid on the content they stole.
And he's like leaking the DM, trying to be like, expose them for like, hey, I hit you up to compensate me and you didn't respond. And XQC is basically like, well, look, actually, we did send you an email. This is directed to you and we wanted to compensate you. It basically says I can compensate you for the full revenue of the video, blah, blah, blah. So he was actually in contact after that interview.
Yeah, and Vince did see this. He just responded like a few hours ago and he said, didn't know your editor sent me an email after the debate. It got lost in the brand deals. You said to DM you, so I did, but I've seen it now. Let's talk.
So, I mean, originally this guy was brought up in the H3 XQC debates. H3 basically was like pressuring on it, saying like, this is the guy you stole from. Like, how do you feel about this? Vince basically gave this whole DM about how awesome other reactors are, but how XQC sucks. So I think H3 reads it here in this clip here. So let's listen to that.
Have you heard of a guy named Vince Vintage? You reacted to 2 of his videos. This one was from a month ago.
Stolen airplane.
You remember this video? Disappearance of FBI's most wanted 16-year-old. XQC reacts. This is from a month ago.
That was 2.5 months, 2.5 weeks ago.
Okay, perfect. So it was very recent. So,
yeah.
So would you consider this guy a small creator? He doesn't have a lot of subs. In fact, here's his original video.
Flying in a stolen.
He only has 400,000. Well, that's not small. But anyway, you did this recently. Do you know who that guy is?
Yes.
Okay. Why didn't you ask him for permission?
I don't know. Did he complain? Because at this point, I don't know if I have a victim, right? I don't know. So I didn't do.
Well, you do actually. And
you do
what's funny is
you do.
I literally just reached out to one random person from your recent reacts, just one, who followed me because I knew.
Yeah, just one. It's just one. It was only one for sure.
Yeah. No, I swear to God.
So you went to ask? Are you a victim, by the way?
Let me hold on. This is important. This is important for you to understand. So I reached out to Vince Vintage and I said, hey, I'm just curious, did XQC get permission? And I'm going to read you the message he sent me, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
He said, really appreciate you reaching out, Ethan. I've never been contacted by XQC at all for any of my Iraq videos. My personal take is this. I love big streamers watching, like XQC, Hassan, Mizkif, Moist Critical, watching my videos on their stream. So? It's a big ego boost.
Let's go.
But when XQC does it, it's different.
Get fucked.
This XQC sucks.
Sorry, buddy. I like how he like gives that to XQC at first. He's like, he likes you, he likes Mizkif, he likes Assad. Actually fucking hates you. Just pulls the rug right from under him. Just when XQC thinks he has an ally there. No, you don't. You're actually hated.
Yeah, for some reason. We'll get into why that's a little bit strange, but yeah, we'll just keep watching.
When he watches my video, he always re-uploads the whole thing on his YouTube channel with his insightful commentary as, wow, chat, isn't this crazy? Compared to when Hassan watched my stuff, he shouted me out and he says he loves my stuff and he sent a bunch of subscribers to my channel. A fair exchange. Here's a video. He showed me a video of Hassan doing that. And then he said, XQC, he really just steals my shit. Entertains his audience of hundreds of hours I put into my videos while I get just a link in the YouTube description. The problem isn't the reacting, it's the re-uploading of my video with his face on the thumbnail. And also, and I don't DMCA him because I don't want the Twitter drama.
Wow.
Oh.
So yeah, that's the DM that Vince sent to H3, but honestly, it doesn't really match up. Yeah, if we go back to the tweet he made earlier when he was saying, thank you, Mizkif, for reacting to my last video, we looked at this because we were like, well, maybe Mizkif has like a fair reaction to this. But honestly, he really doesn't. Like, he doesn't have a fair reaction at all. It's actually just as egregious as XQC's upload.
Yeah.
The video is 28 minutes long, the original video, and he added maybe 4 minutes of commentary.
Yeah, so you can see right here, the video that he's reacting to, which is the same one that XQC reacted to as well, is 28 minutes, but Mizkif's upload is only 32 minutes long, so he added 4 minutes of commentary.
Yeah,
and
we were skipping through this. Like, when is the first time he pauses this video?
Like 3 minutes in.
3 to 6, I think it's like 3 or 6 minutes in, and then he doesn't pause again for another 10 minutes. Then he talks for a little bit, and then he doesn't pause again for another 10 minutes. So it's like, is it really that much better? And then also another point that they made, which we saw Mizkif react to live, was relating to the thumbnail. So if you go back and look at Miz's channel here, open up his channel, we can see him upload this thumbnail over here on the far right, FBI's most wanted 16-year-old Mizkif reacts. And it's just his soy face with the same thumbnail and the same title. I mean, isn't that just as cannibalistic as XQC does? Now look, I don't like either of them, to be honest with you. I think both of these are terrible reactions, but I do think XQC has a little bit of a point when he's saying it's a bit unfair that you can suck one creator off, but then when I do the same exact thing, all of a sudden I'm the asshole.
Right.
I mean, I don't know, maybe that is a fair take, but I just find that a little bit unfair.
Well, Vince's tweet here where he's talking about how Mizkif is showing love in the last video, it shows like, and I liked this tweet because, you know, I like Vince vintage content, right? So it was cool to see him get a shout out from a bigger streamer. But again, like once I looked into Mizkif's video, he really just steals it just like XQC does. So yeah, again, XQC and Mizkif both suck, right? But it is, again, like, it is strange how XQC is the bad guy here, but Mizkif is all right. Why? Is it because Mizkif, like, sucked him off, like, for 20 seconds or whatever?
I mean, maybe he asked permission, but I haven't seen Vince. No one's clarified that, because actually H3 did end up quote tweeting XQC and said, fuck you, basically, but they didn't mention anything about that permission or anything.
Yeah, Ethan Klein tweeted and said, "You are a giant piece of shit for this. This is exactly why people don't complain when you steal their videos, scum." He explained in his message why some reactors get a pass and why XQC is particularly bad. It's his content that you stole. He can decide whatever he wants with it. Plus, it's been 2.5 days since our debate, and he still has not been paid. The only thing he's got is a public lashing for daring to request compensation for a stolen property. At XQC, you were scum. So Ethan just goes full fucking force mode here against XQC, but again, this doesn't really seem fair because he didn't shit on Vince Vintage necessarily in this tweet. He's basically just saying like, look,
this is unfair.
I did reach out to you. I'm here to correct the record here because it looks like from your tweet that I'm ghosting you, but we did reach out to you.
Yeah, which that's a fair clarification. And then also Ethan Klein says he explained in his message why some reactors get a pass. Well, the message said, what's egregious is that you take my full video and then re-upload it on your YouTube channel and then like just keep the same thumbnail and just put your face over it, which is identical to what Mizkif did. So even for XQC's point of view, he's reading Ethan Klein's tweet. He explained in his message why some reactors get a pass. And XQC's like, Mizkif did the same exact shit as me. I was gonna say. And so XQC replied, he said, wait a minute, you said he doesn't complain because he doesn't want Twitter drama, then post a leaked DM in an attempt to make people believe a lie. I simply replied to prove that what he said isn't true, yet I'm the bad guy. What was I supposed to do? Let him lie and damage me? Yeah, I mean,
Which is fair.
Yeah, honestly, this is the thing is at the end of the day, I guess creators can be picky and choosy. They can say, I like Mizkif doing it, I don't like you doing it. That's fine. I mean, it is his property, so he can do whatever he wants. But I do understand XQC's point where he's kind of like, yeah, this does seem a little bit, this pisses me off because I don't know why I'm all of a sudden an asshole just because the tide's shifted and everyone wants to shit on me right now.
Right, yeah, people are honing in on XQC because it's XQC that they don't like, but not because the content that he's making is shit. Like, we're not just shitting on XQC because he's like the target of the week and we're like, fuck this guy, let's just destroy him for a week, right? It's like, no, he's just making content that's like stealing and that should be called out, but it should be called out if anybody's stealing, not just him, right? Mizkif should be called out as well. Now, Vince clarified that his position is, I love seeing big streamers, XQC, Hassan, Mizkif, Moist Critical, reacting to my videos on their streams. Clouding me out for watching my video is a fair exchange, but when a streamer has nothing to say, then re-uploads the reaction on their YouTube channel, that's the problem. And Mizkif actually responded and said, listen, enough talking, that's my job as the reactor, get to making those videos. They don't call me the paid actor reactor for no reason, buddy. So they're
Yeah.
just joking around and
They're
stuff.
joking around and stuff. But yeah, I mean, obviously this is Mizkif's my friend, so he can do it. But you're not my friend, so you can't do it. Which, I mean, like I said, I mean, it's his video, so it's his rights to do whatever he wants with it. But obviously XQC is probably pissed because he's like, hey, everyone else is doing the same shit. Fuck all you guys.
Yeah,
Like,
he's just
like-
the one getting targeted here.
Yeah, he's the one getting stomped. So basically, if you're not friends with the creator, you can't react to it. But technically, I mean, what Mizkif's doing is just as illegal, right? I mean, if our argument is that it's not fair use, what he's doing is just as illegal, but it's cool because they're friends. And maybe he has permission, maybe then it's not. I don't know. I haven't seen anyone clarify that there's permission given. I just see him saying, I think it's cool when people react to me.
Yeah.
Which is what happened. Yeah, and Mizkif did watch this whole debate and react to it, and he pretty much just bent the knee and accepted that he was like just as guilty, but he's not really getting any shit for it, which is typical of Mizkif, to be honest.
That users will be confused?
Let me tell you something, Ethan.
Don't you think so?
No, the
My
6 is in a
channel
different spot.
Does not grow. It quite really doesn't. But you're thinking.
Well, that's because you just post a ton of shit there. No, you don't put any effort into it.
Okay, and why do you think that is?
Because you don't give a fuck.
Shows his own thumbnail.
He does the same thing.
See, my 6 is in a different spot though, chat. It's different.
Okay.
Clearly.
So
And so he's watching XQC get grilled by Ethan and the entire internet, even though he knows he's guilty of the same thing, and he knows he's getting away with it too. And he's
Yeah.
laughing his ass off because this is what's happening.
Yeah, and then he goes on to be like, I'm sorry, man. My bad, Vince. I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, he's winning for some reason.
I guess. I don't know why Mizkif's the cool guy here, because Mizkif is like the biggest loser of all time. I mean, this guy
Covered up a
sucks.
sexual assault last
yeah,
year.
he covers a sexual assault. He sucks. I mean, XQC sucks too, don't get me wrong. Why does this guy get the pass?
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
funny
he's
too
the
because
last guy.
XQC sucks because for content reasons, right? XQC as a guy is not. Is XQC a bad guy? I don't think so, right? I just don't like his content ethics, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Mizkif, on the other hand, is a bad guy.
Yeah.
Who also makes bad content.
Yeah.
So it's like, how is this guy getting away with it? What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, XQC is basically just too stupid and like stutters over himself to ever make a point.
He also like inserts himself way more in the conversation. Like all the other reaction streamers have been avoiding getting involved in the drama, whereas XQC is like calling people out on Twitter, joining debates with Ethan. He's like fully like trying. He's calling up Destiny to train him to debate so that he can like clear his name from something that's like undebatable. But all the other React streamers know better and they stay away from the drama, and that's what Mizkif is doing, except for watching it. He'll watch XQC get tortured by the internet and laugh at it, and then re-upload it,
Yeah, he just did the same.
and then win.
Wow.
What
amazing.
the fuck?